proudest day, and the proudest time, and the seat of a rally car, because that day and that hour and those minutes, I got the bit between my teeth. You know, I really stood up and was counted and said, this is not getting away. I remember when we pulled on our helmets and Donald says to me, what are we doing? I said, we're going for gold, Barrett. That's all we said. I can still picture that run. That was just the best run ever.
Welcome along to Krunching Gears, the rally podcast. We normally say it's that time of the week, but it's that time of the year, Connor. It's Donegal Rally time, and we've waited in this for so long, and suddenly it's here. Unbelievable.
Look, it's Christmases, birthdays, everything rolled into one. It's it's the rally of the year in Ireland, and we all look forward to it. And not only us as spectators and fans, the competitors really look forward to this event as well.
Yeah, so this is like the first of a two episodes going out this week, and we catch up with some of the two-wheel drive competitors, some of the RC4 guys, and as well then some of the historic ones. Before we go any further, please like and share. All those things, as always, make a difference. But we are in such a privileged position to get these stories, and how given all these guys were of their time. Like a week out from the rally, they had probably 101 things to do, but no, they come on, the bit of fun, the bit of crack, and the bit of banter. It's amazing what they can do for us.
Look, we can't thank them enough. Like, they are up to their eyes. Not only in some cases preparing their own cars, but some of them are preparing customers' cars for the event as well. And, really are very giving of their time, extremely generous to come along, have a bit of crack and a bit of chat with us. And we're privileged just to get in to sit with them and listen to the banter that's going on between them, Kevin.
Yeah, that's for sure. Because we only ever see ourselves as that we're allowing them the chance to tell their story, and it's just we'll hear from the podcast here now. It's just that we are just listening into the conversations, and it's fantastic. It really is. And in this episode, we caught up with some of the two-wheel drives. That was Kevin Gallagher and Gary McPhillips and Frank Kelly.
And then, Kevin, you also got a chance to speak to the Rally 4 competitors, Ryan MacHugh, Ioan, Lloyd, Keelan, Grogan, Kyle McBride, and not forgetting Joe Kelly.
Yeah, and then the historics then I spoke to then was McDaid, Declan Casey, Tommy O'Connell, Paul Mulholland, and then Jonni McDaid along with them as well too. So it's a busy show, but great fun. Really is great fun. And what more can we say? But you don't really want to hear from us, I'm sure. So first of all, we'll catch up with the two-wheel drive guys then. So that is Kevin A. Gallagher, Gary McPhillips, and Frank Kelly. Probably one of the most eagerly anticipated battles in Donegal this year is going to be the two-wheel drive. And Kevin, you've took the one the last 2 years, but there's some lineup this year, and they're all after your crown.
Look, there are probably 20 guys there that could be, setting fastest times in the mix. So, no, it's going to be a tight battle from the word go. And look, I think new stages too, and it's going to mix the thing up, and everybody's sort of on a reasonably level ground for the Friday anyway.
Yeah, because it's been so long since those stages have been used. Nobody's got any advantage there really. It's new ground for everybody at this stage.
I think what I've done Mulholland, but it's probably 12, 13 years ago. So the memories of it's kind of gone. But no, it's nice to go to, same as last year, I suppose, going to Donegal Town, going around there this year. It'll make a nice change to it.
Yeah, because Mulholland has always been regarded as probably one of a classic in Donegal, and the fact that it hasn't been used for so long, and then at Malmore and Culcross are two real good challenge stages. But going out on Friday morning, heading into Mulholland, that's some introduction.
Oh, it is definitely. It's a fast stage to start off with. It's sort of one of them stages. There are a lot of time in it. So no, it'll be interesting to see how everybody gets on.
Mm-hmm. And Gary, you've been to Donegal now a few times, maybe not as much now in the last couple of years, but for the likes of heading into Mulholland first thing Friday morning, that's some wake up call.
Yeah, when Marlon, I was the same as Kevin. I probably did do it the last time it was run, so I'm hoping Kevin's memory he does forget it a wee bit this time. But yeah, from the last time, from what I remember, it was a lovely stage. It's very fast and flowing type stage. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to getting into it now. It's great to see it moving down another part. Just away from Letterkenny for the Friday, and it seems to be three very good stages now. So yeah, it'd be extra good now if it does turn out to be a dry weekend for it. There'll be real tricky stages, and every man, sure, everybody will be going for it, and it'll be interesting to see what way it turns out on the Friday now.
Yeah, because like all year, like there's been no rally, well, bar Monaghan maybe, that there's been so many modified guys out. Every rally there's been 7 or 8 good guys out, but like Monaghan there was like 10 or 15, but Donegal like there's 15, 20 guys there.
I should look. As Kevin says, there's any amount there now and you can't afford now. It's got to the stage you can't even afford till sit back, or there's just too many fellas all on the pace and they're all just on the button. So there's too many. So you're really going to have to go at it straight on Friday, and hopefully you come out, within the top 3 or 4 come Friday evening. But it's going to be a very tough challenge because there's that many there, and they're all on the same level playing field at the minute. And the stages, in the fact that they're sort of fairly new stages till everybody, it'll be interesting.
Yeah, and because Frank, you always say that you always wish the Donegal would start about Saturday lunchtime by the time you get going and all too. Like you can't do that anymore. Like yes, it's 3 days, but it is flat out from the word go.
It is very much so. The days of it being a long event that you're going to pace yourself on are long gone. As I say, I'd probably start the rally on Wednesday and get going by Friday maybe. But the Mulholland head stages will be tricky, very tricky. I think I did them in 2009. I'm not sure, lads, if that was the last time it was run. I have a memory of a beach somewhere, and that's about the height of it. So it's going to be interesting. I'm sort of disappointed it didn't stay down in Donegal Town, because I thought those were fantastic stages last year, and I thought for the work that went into to get that area rallying and everything again, it would have been nice to get a year or two out of them. But hey, listen, it is what it is. The traditional stages of Saturday and Sunday, Lauren went through them with me the other evening, just on the overview maps, and there's quite a few changes too. It's a while since I've done Glen that direction. They've chopped and changed at Garton, which should never ever be touched ever. Fanod's looking good. Hopefully, I know it struggled to run a couple of times. Hopefully it's sorted, because it's run the right road and everything the way it should always run. So I think it'll be a great weekend. The pace will be frightening. As Kevin said, there's 15 or 20 men on that anti-list. You look down it and you think, yeah, he could win it, and he could win it, and he could win it. That's just everybody could win it. Need a rub of the green, need things to go well. Hopefully it doesn't go well for anybody else and we have a good run. I'll be the boy sprinkling the wee Sherry nails around the stages there.
But Kevin, that is the thing. Like with a 3-day rally, you need everything just to fall into place. Like it's you can have all your prep done, and the driver and the co-driver, but the car has to be right, the tires have to be right. It's just everything has to be right for the whole weekend.
Oh, it is, and look, you need an awful lot of luck for that all to happen. Like, it's one of those, you can't get a puncture. But if you lost that minute, that's it gone. Like, same like a couple of spins or mistakes, like you just could knock you back 20 places. Like, So, but it's the same as Frank was saying there. I think there are only probably 3 stages. It's the same as last year. Like, so that there's a lot of changing to it. Like. So it'll make it interesting now to see how it all goes.
Yeah, because we often hear, Donegal kind of turned into a race track. Everybody knows where they're going. Them wee changes then kind of does mix it up and probably makes it a level playing field for everybody then that way.
Oh, it does definitely. Look, I know some of the stages you would have done before, but I know like Frank says, Glenn's reversed, and I can't even remember the last time I done it that way. I think we went out of the rally that year, and then the same with Gallagher. I think you come back to 08, 09 since I would have done that stage that way. But no, it's there are definitely a lot of changes like to it, so it should mix the whole thing up too. And I suppose anybody coming in that hasn't been doing it every year, it'll sort of help them as well, like that they can mix in with the pace. Like.
Yeah, and Gary, from your point of view too, you haven't been as regular as as previous times. That mix of stages probably takes takes that unknown away from you. That oh God, Kevin's been doing that stage now for the last 5 years. He knows where he's going. It's not going to be like that now. It's going to be everybody's going into the likes of Glenn going the opposite direction, Gary Gort going the opposite direction, and there's no comparison there from the previous years.
Yeah, no, I think look at it, leaving it out. Surely there'll be bits of the stages you'll remember and everything else, but to have them wee changes, it just mixes it up a wee bit, maybe, and might just take the pace back a wee bit, rather than going into stages that everybody knows all the time and they're just completely flat out all the time. But yeah, no, it'll be interesting to see just on the stages that have changed. It'll add an interesting wee twist to it.
That's for sure. That's for sure. Connor, do you want to jump in there?
Yeah, I was just going to ask with the fact it is so competitive now, and you have to be on it from stage one. I'll throw this at Frank first. Is there more emphasis on preparation? Does the pace notes become more important? Does the DVDs become more important?
I don't do the DVDs at all. I just go and write me notes and then go rallying. Nothing really stays in here anyway, so I have to rely on what's said to me. More of the preparation for me was the car. As you all know, I've been doing a fair bit of wrecking this year already. So it's been very much make, do and mend to get out to the next rally. So when we had a good run in Carlow, we were supposed to do Munster. We had an entry in for Munster, and I says, come up the road from Carlow. Car feels good, but she's tired, very tired. So I thought, we'll pull the pin on Munster, which it's a rare thing in my rallying to pull that entry anywhere, and just get 4 or 5 weeks at this car to give her a bumper-to-bumper rebuild. And I'm really glad I did that. Now she's sitting there ready for Donegal, and Donegal's a week away. That's the first time in my life that's ever happened. Keep thinking of what's not done or what's maybe left loose or what have I missed. But tomorrow we're Iraqi, but Monday evening I'm going to stick her in the shuttle, and then I can't look at the bitch. She can stay in there, and I can't see her, so I won't be tempted to start taking her apart again. But it's very much that. It's driving opinions, diffs, half shafts, prop shafts, gearbox, clutches, the whole thing. Because when you look at Donegal now, and it's been like this for a couple of years, the 30-minute services generally, you're not going to do a whole lot in 30 minutes if you have a big gearbox problem or a big issue. Starters, alternators, that kind of crack, that's about, and you still run the bother. So the car needs to be perfect. I'm sure these lads will all agree. The cars have been gone through as if it's the beginning of a new season, and that's what we're all end up doing. And I think it's a big thing too now. 10 years ago, you could have relied on a lot of lads either not doing it or not being able to afford to do it, and there'd be attrition. There's not a whole lot of attrition in our rallying anymore. Everybody has a good car and has it well put together and knows what it takes to get it done, has the right bits in it, and everybody's smarter and just works on that. Like 2 years ago, we came out of Donegal, and I think it was the best I've ever driven Donegal and probably ever will drive in Donegal. 3 days of making no mistakes is unheard of for me. 3 stages of no mistakes is unheard of for me. 3 full days. Drove rapid for 3 days and started well and everything, and was 8th in the national on the finish ramp, and thinking, what the fuck? What did I do wrong? Is everybody get that much quicker? And it was 2 or 3 days before I worked out that I think till a man, the first 10 nationals that started the rally all finished. Nobody dropped out, and that's kind of unheard of, and you look at Carlo there was big attrition rate. So it's none of us wants to break down. I don't want anybody to break down. In all honesty, I really don't. But it's getting the car right, and then I look after myself after that, or Lauren look after me after that.
And Gary, for yourself, how much emphasis is on the notes, the prep, the DVDs, or is it more towards Frank's school of thought there, where it's about having a strong, reliable car that's going to last the distance?
Well, the DVDs, I always have great intentions of watching them, but I don't watch them as much as I should probably. But look, yes, it's about preparing the car as best you can. You're taking things out of the car and putting parts into the car that you could go to another national rally or 2 national rallies with, but you're afraid of them letting you down. So you're changing all them big the half shafts, clutch, anything you can think of, you're changing it. Lucky my car is a new car. Well, I've changed the car the end of last year, so I have a fresh car. So I'm hoping that'll give me a wee bit of luck as well. But yeah, and the whole week, the fact that the pace is so hot for the weekend, you know, you have to, you can't afford to make one mistake, you know, now just because there's too many people to pick it up. So as Frank says, that to try and hold it together for the whole weekend over 3 days, like it's a tough task. So it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kevin, what's your own thoughts around the notes? Like, again, do you start with a fresh book? Do you pull out the notes from previous years, or is there a strong reliance on the DVDs?
Look, normally for going to them national rounds, I would sort of watch, one or two DVDs. Same, any of the new stages here now, I would watch over them and sort of have most of my changes actually done to my notes. I would use Patterson's notes and just modify them as I need. Then any of the stages I would have done before, I would sort of just transfer the changes, and you'd be ready to go for the recce then, so that you'd be changing very little as you go, like your notes from last year basically. So it would be. And then I suppose down to the car, it's sort of the same. Like if you were going to a national rally again, like most of the stuff you would, if it's reasonably good, you would go on with it. But Donegal's different. Like you're sort of replacing everything and anything that might go wrong, to try and give yourself the best chance at it.
Yeah, and like the way the national has gone now too, like there's a new generation coming in there now too. The two Moffats, Michael Kerbin. There's always new blood coming through too, and they are pushing the boundaries that wee bit further as well too. Kevin, it's just so unpredictable. You can never say who's going to be competitive, who's not. It's like there's always new people coming along, and the generation that's there are still going as strong as ever.
I look, there are always new names coming through, and look, I suppose like that top 15, 20, like any of them lads on their day could be at the top of the timesheets, and nobody would be one bit surprised. Like, but you need a lot to go your way to stay on that pace for the whole weekend. Then, because it's not like it was years ago where you could have sat back and dropped 30 seconds on the Friday, and you knew the guys that were going flat out, they're probably not going to last. But it's different now. There are that many of them, and they're all going flat out. There's going to be 6 or 8 of them that's still going to be there Sunday evening, like, so you have to go with them, like.
I think Gary, there was always this, the strong modified, contingent from Monaghan, and it kind of had waned there for a couple of years, but it's back in force again now.
Yeah, sure. Monaghan was a great turnout, and it turned out it was a great day for the rally, and there were 3 really good stages, and the pace basically was flat out from where to go, and it really come to the end of the rally. There was only 16 seconds dividing the top 6 escorts, or I think it really was, and Kevin there. There was nothing really in it really. So it's going to the same, and even the likes of Mickey Carbon there now, he's moved into the class, and he's coming up close behind there now, and he's cornering with him for Donegal, and we had a few rallies over him now and starting to build his pace. So like Mickey there will be sliding in now too. You'll be checking the times too after the first one to see where they are too.
Yeah, Frank, there is a conveyor belt there. There's just so many people, are coming in, and like as Gary says, you just don't know who to check times with, because like there's just going to be so many coming in.
I'll check no times, especially Friday. It only disheartens you when you realise how far off you're off it. Like Gary said there, Mickey Carbon has first stepped up. We had a great battle with him towards the end of Carlow, and he was really going hard, going really hard. I was at me tether to try and keep him where he was at, and I think only that he had a change of spare wheel between stages that sort of put him off his balance for the last stage. It could have been a different story. So he'll be thereabouts. I think Goldie, Chris O'Callaghan, I think I'll be a dark horse for Monaghan, or for Monaghan for Donegal. He did Donegal last year, and he slowly built up his pace and got good knowledge. And Chris has a great memory for stages, he tell you himself, and I'm expecting great things from him. So I think he'll go very hard. But listen, you couldn't throw a stone away hitting somebody that could win it. Somebody need the rub of the green. It's really hard to know if it'll be an experienced man or one of the new lads. But when you look at Declan Gallagher done to everybody in Baltinglass, fucking scary. All them lads there going hard, and he was just a step beyond everybody else. hitting a real good pace coming into Donegal. This could be his year. It could be his year. And the Moffats, as you say, in the Starlets, all going hard. Kevin Eves, if he gets a feel for the car in the first stage, he'll be going as well. So I think it'd be wise just to sit back and watch, let it all implode, and then stroll on through. Stroll on through. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. When I'm 15 minutes behind everybody on Sunday evening, I'll say, well, they just didn't do what they're supposed to do.
You stuck to the plan.
Yeah.
I did what I was supposed to do for the first time ever. No matter what happens, it's going to be fun. That's for sure. I'm going to enjoy it, and that's all that matters.
Yeah, because Kevin, like you have won it now for the last 2 years. Like, will that give you, like, you know how to win? That maybe where I'm coming from. Does that give you a wee bit of extra confidence starting out on Friday morning? Like, it's not the unknown for you the same.
Probably does help a little bit, like, what you have to do, but look, you do need a lot of things to go your way as well. Like, and look, I suppose I had other years where I was close to getting it, and maybe went off or made mistakes, and kind of was making it hard work for myself, if you know what I mean. But no, look, you kind of know what you have to do. Like, but look, no different to Gary or Frank there either. Like, they've been in plenty of. They know what they have to do as well if they want to be there. So it's sort of the same for everybody. Like, if you just have a wee bit of experience, so it probably maybe hindered me in the earlier years when I moved up from the 1600 to the Darien. Just needed a wee bit more experience, but no, look, it should be a great weekend, hopefully.
Mm-hmm. And like Gary, the new car and all, like, is it giving you back the mojo and the love of rallying again now as well?
Yeah, well, look, when I changed the car, the last couple of years, I sort of fizzled out a wee bit there of it, and then I decided to change the car and maybe try and just change it up a wee bit and try and get back into it. And the first couple of rallies I had at the start of the year, there was different things. When you get a new car, so there's always bits of problems and things. So I had to change a few things, and then in Monaghan, I was starting to really get back into it and enjoy Monaghan rally really well. So I did. So yeah, I'm looking forward now to Donegal to get back out, and yeah, I'm looking forward to that. So hopefully it'll go well. You're going to need all the luck you can get to get through the 3 days of it, and it'll be a tough one, but yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, because getting in there and strapping in, pulling in belts on a 2.5 car, like, there must be no buzz like it. Like, you I don't know, do you play other sports? Do you play golf or whatever? Like, there must be no comparison to stepping into like a full tilt escort or whatever.
Look, it's hard to explain to people that doesn't know anything about cars, but if you go through a stage at full tilt and maybe come off the stage and end up maybe being, if you're lucky enough, maybe to be the quickest on it, like, there's no feeling like it, or if you can get into the right frame of mind on Friday morning, and all it takes is to have if you've won at the first stage, a good stage, it nearly sets you up for the day, really. And yeah, it's hard to describe it, but like, you'd be in buzzing coming off a stage, even if you had to slide through it, it's a real adrenaline rush, so it is. So it's hard to explain to people that's not involved in it, but yeah, it's exciting now when you have a good run through a stage.
Yeah, I like Frank. Same to you. Like, we know your love of golf and soccer and all those other kind of. Nothing beats a 2.5.
You're talking about sports where you only need one ball. It's really, it is, like I said, it's very hard to explain. I equate it to the nearest thing to freedom that you can experience in life now. I sometimes wonder how long they're going to let us do this shit. And someday it will be gone. It will at some point, and people will look back and go, "You guys were allowed to do that." So it's great to be able to think that we are allowed to do this. It's legal, and we're allowed to do it. But like Gary says, if you had a slide, if I didn't have a slide, I would think I fucked up the stage. It wasn't worth doing if I didn't have a slide. There has to be a slide from every corner to every corner. That's when I feel comfortable and when I feel that we're doing something. And whatever the time is, it'll be good crack anyway. So just let it go and just enjoy it.
Yeah. I think, Kevin, I think it was like Plum Tyndall or something them years ago, like, and never has so much been, provided for so many by so few. Like, you are in a real privileged position to do what you're doing.
Oh, it is. Look, it's great to be doing the rallies, and like they're not a bad car probably doing that rally now. Like if you went back through the entry, like and you know, like I love doing the rally, like it's some buzz really, like so. And especially like you get to like a Donegal where you can get into for them real good stages. It's familiar, you've done before, and it's a great buzz like.
And Connor, like you want to ask something there about the stages then as well too?
Yeah, I suppose just I suppose two things there. One would be like, it's 3 national rallies packed into a weekend. Like, I suppose, Kevin, how do you pace yourself for the likes of that, or can you afford to pace yourself?
And you can't really afford to pace yourself. You just sort of try and get into a good rhythm and just start off and go as hard as you can for basically as long as you can, and try and make no mistakes. Like, there is no pacing in anymore. I used to try and do that. You'd pace yourself in on the Friday, but you're sitting back 20, 30 seconds, 40 seconds, and it's too difficult to make it back up. Like.
And Gary, not quite the same question, but something similar. To get back into the swing of doing a 3-day event and long days and stuff, like mentally, physically, is there any preparation for it, or is it just total exhaustion by the time you cross the finish ramp on Sunday?
Okay, look at we'd be trying to maybe do a few classes or something or gym, try to get a bit of exercise in for going for it, because it is tough for the 3 days of it. But I'll be just treating every day as if it's a 1-day event. The same Friday, and you were fortunate enough to get out of Friday, go on to Saturday, and unless if you're in a real fortunate position on Saturday evening, you'll be planning what your attack is on Saturday, whether you are going to be going flat out or coming back. But I can't see that ever happening, because the list is just everlasting ending. So yeah, it'll be just a treating every day as if it's a 1-day rally and see where you are at the end of it.
And Frank, like, we know your strategy is sit back and let everybody else fall by the wayside, but you're sitting third overall in the modified in the ITRC. Does that get parked, or is that at the back of your mind? Get into this as well.
It's very much parked at the minute, but if we're lucky enough to get into Sunday, and you have to look around yourself and see what the gaps are, and say, well, listen, there's no point in chasing that man because he's too far up the road. We have good points. Maybe we should take it home now. There's probably going to be a bit of that, but there's a long way to go to get to that point. The boss on the passenger side will probably remind me of shit like that when it gets out of hand and gets a bit leery. But it's a 3-day event, as we know, and I'll be very much like Gary. It's 3 national rallies, so I do every day as if it's a national rally, and whatever that brings us.
And I suppose to wrap it up, then the favorite stage. Maybe we'll start, Frank. Favorite stage and why?
It's a real toss-up between Garton and Fanad. If I had to put my neck on the line, it would be Garton, because it's just strap the balls to the back seat and go. It's just this configuration this year might be different, but I just love the booking thing. I was heartbroken when it wasn't in the rally last year. I did even think, will I go to Donegal because Garton's not on it? But as you said, we're privileged to get an entry, privileged to get going. Garton.
All 3 runs.
Gary, same question to yourself then?
Well, it's probably the same with Frank, Fanad or Garton, and I think I'd be going maybe towards Fanad. I think because every time it reminds me so much of me and Manus in 2014 going into Garton or going into Fanad. The last stage, I think it was only 0.3 or something of a second in it. I'll never forget it. I'd say it was one of the best stages I've ever done. And I'd say I'd have to go with Fanad. I'd say.
Yeah. And Kevin, same question to yourself then?
Well, for me, it's home stage Knockalla. Just I suppose growing up on it and around it, I suppose I just maybe have a wee bit more knowledge of it, and that just definitely Knockalla for me.
I think even though sometimes the home stage is nearly like a curse. You've seen other drivers having problems in their home stage, but it's still the one stage that you look forward to.
I suppose it's like other stages in the country. If people, you just I probably know it better than most. Like I used to, when I was at school, I used to work down the fish farm down at the the first junction on it. So for about 5 years, I used to be up and down the roads every direction on it. So that's probably why I know it so well. So no, it definitely helps. Like,
If it's not a cheeky question, Kevin, do you still use pace notes on it?
oh, definitely,
You
definitely.
do? Yeah, just to keep you in check and keep you in line.
Oh, yeah. And I would
Right.
drive to them, like, definitely,
Yeah.
100%. Yeah,
No, that's interesting. I was just wondering.
It's
yeah.
it's one of them stages that when you come down off the back end of it, there's like a sigh of relief after getting over the first couple of minutes.
After not a lamp in the Atlantic, you mean?
It's one of them stages when you're starting it. I just can't wait to get to the far side of it, and you're just like a breath of fresh air. I made it over that bit.
I've warmed to Knockalla over the years. I used to hate Knockalla, but I've really warmed to it. It's an exhilarating stage to drive, and that first part of it, the hairpin and up round, and then the bits where you sort of follow the white line, where you literally see the Atlantic in front of you and just believe that there's a road the other side of that white line. It's just, no matter how many times you go over that, and the escort always gets light, and if it's wet, she'll give a quiver, and it's just holy. There's nothing like it. Nothing like it.
And like, that's just before we do finish is like going up and all that, like the crowds that go there. Kevin, is there an energy comes off that? Can you sense that in the car?
Maybe, you'd see them, but look, generally you'd be focusing on the road, and you wouldn't be aware if the crowds would be there, but generally a lot of that. Knockhalla's probably a bit different because the start of it's probably more open, and you're sitting at the start line and you can see the big crowds, but not so much probably when you're in the car and on the stage. You're more focusing on the road, like. But no, definitely you always see the crowds. At the start, you'll be waiting on the start and you see them all walking up, like there are huge crowds in it, like.
Yeah. And Gary, the same question to yourself.
Maybe this year, Kevin, you should take it a wee bit easier up Knockalla and a good look around you.
Enjoy the crowds, wave to the crowds, both hands.
I think do a wee donut or something at the hairpin or something.
3 or 4 of them. I would say when you get a Darian started donutting, it'll be very hard to get her stopped.
That'll be the problem.
Be like a spinning Jonni.
Gary, the same to you. Like, is it, we see the crowds over the last few years in Donegal. They've been just unbelievable. The crowds that's been coming. Like, it's like no other rally. Do you get a sense of that too when you're competing? We talk about the ceremonial start, the buzz that's there, or whatever. Do you get a sense of it on the stages?
Yeah, there's a certain stages. You're coming through a certain part of the stage, and you're just see this sea of people and places, and you're just saying, geez, you see the crowds there. And then there is times it probably does give you a bit of drive home, but I'd say, if Kevin says, majority of the time you don't have time, really to take it in. You just have to keep going on, like. But yeah, no, them over in the Donegal, it's amazing the turnout to get in it. Like, it's great to see the crowd still going to it.
And Frank, we know you're an international traveller. You've travelled the world. You're adored everywhere you go. Do you still get the same buzz out of Donegal?
I do indeed. Like, the crowds are my downfall. I feed Tara off the crowds. It gives you a serious buzz, and I get really dangerous when the whole thing starts to happen, and you get the wee reminder over the intercom: stop looking at the people. And I don't look at the people. I still try and keep the brain cells looking forward, but it's just, you get a serious buzz off it, and there's that extra flick and the extra gear and stuff, and it just, if it goes on too long, it ends badly. But it's the nearest thing you'll get to Rally Legends as regards crowds and the vibe coming off the crowd. And I'm sure you lads have had it before, where you come to the end of a stage and a chief marshal or assistant COC or somebody asks you, is that stage still all right to run? Is there too many people? No, it's grand, it's 100%. Nobody's near the road, because you just don't want it to stop. It's, everybody's there and enjoying it and there for the right reasons. And yeah, listen, in all seriousness, if you see someone dangerous, you have to say. But the crowds last year in Cairnhill was wet, and I got out of hand, Tara, and Cairnhill, I got really out of hand. But it was getting worse and worse as the stage went on, because the crowds around the hairpin at the pub there, whatever that's called, the crowds there were serious, and I don't know how I got through that section at all. I was winging a prayer through it. we actually had a decent time on the completely wrong tyres, just because I got completely out of hand. But I try not to get riled up in a 3-day event in the crowds, because it only ends badly.
And then, before we finish up, Barney Mitchell sent a special message for Frank.
My buddy Barney.
Aye.
Can I get a selfie with Barney?
He's starting a GoFundMe page to get Frank a silencer for the Baby Blue. So anybody that wants to contribute, get onto Barney and he'll keep you right.
He's not the first man to do that. Well, if they catch me in a stage in their M3, they're going to get second, because I'll make her as loud as I can and as wide as I can. It's very hard to pass a car this sideways. It'll be interesting to see how them lads go. They had some run on that rally abroad. I can't remember, it was in southern Spain or somewhere. And the M3, is that the same M3, or have they got a different one for Ireland? Do you know?
They have the same car, but it's going to run class 14. But so yeah, it's not
I see that.
But
It'd be interesting to see what kind of times Marty puts up, because we all know how quick he is, and they've done Donegal last year, the Historics, wasn't it, or something? So they'll have a bit of knowledge too. But it'll be an interesting flying ointment to see what way that works. Despite Barney, put that bit in.
So thanks very much there to Kevin, Gary, and Frank. Can you just imagine what it must be like between the stages with those guys and all the other guys? It would be mental.
Oh, look, between winding each other up and having the crack and just the pure banter between them. What I would give to have them all mic'd up and recording it. Although, to be honest, I would say very little of it could be broadcast.
That's for sure. And, these young guys we're going to speak to next, they're the same. You hear the respect they have for each other, but also the way they wind each other up too. And I just think that is top notch. Yes, they take their rallying very serious, but they know how to have a wee bit of fun as well too. So we'll hear from Ryan, Keelan, Ioan, Kyle, and Joe. Ryan, the championship this year has been unreal. It's never really more than a few seconds covering you. I can't see Donegal being any different.
No, definitely not, Kevin. All these guys here are definitely going to go hard in Donegal. And yeah, looking forward to a good battle over 3 long days. Looking new stages in there too to mix it up a bit, which is always good. So yeah, I don't think too many is too much knowledge here. So yeah, it's going to be a good racing, and it's going to be even playing field.
Yeah, that's the thing. You're all going in there fairly fresh. It's not the event that you've all done 3 or 4 times. It's all going to be new, and the new stages on the Friday. It's a very level playing field for everybody. Then, really.
Yeah, look, definitely. Them stages haven't been around since 2011, so I can't see any of us rallying back in 2011. So yeah, looking forward to it. Looked at really good stages there from watching the DVD. So yeah, looking forward to getting into them and seeing what it's like up there, I suppose.
And Kyle, and we know we spoke before, in your home peninsula, but not roads you would normally be on. They're not roads on the way to anywhere really as such.
Yeah, it's good to get it relatively close, but yeah, it's not really roads you be on for sure. But still, the class is kind of your home event, So looking forward to getting at it, especially the 3 days. It's first time doing it, so it's gonna be interesting and enjoyable. Hopefully, good racing in the 3 days.
And Ioan, from your own point of view, coming over from Wales, you done Donegal last year. Do you get the appeal of the event?
Oh yeah, there's no event like it. To be fair, it's class. I think it lives up to its hype for sure every time. And yeah, I've been once spectating a couple of years ago, but last year was the first time we did it. So it's some rally. It's probably the best one of the year, to be fair, no doubt. So looking forward to it.
Yeah. And Keelan, the same question to yourself. You experienced Donegal for the first time last year competing. Did it live up to all the hype that you had heard beforehand?
Definitely, yeah. We probably didn't have a great weekend last year, but we still gained a bit of knowledge, I suppose, which should help us this year. But I'm looking forward to Friday stages, to be honest. I think when it's brand new like that for everyone, it'll leave things very interesting. But definitely, yeah, the bit of knowledge on Saturday and Sunday will hopefully help a little bit. But I still expect it to be pretty tight throughout the weekend, I'd say now.
Hi, because no matter where you are in the country, north, south, east, west, it's fractions of seconds it's covering you. And that must be intense coming off the stage, just wondering where you're at.
Yeah, you're always looking for the time straight away to see if it is closer, or sometimes occasionally, there's a bit of a gap, but generally it's points a second. Sometimes I think in Munster we done or 2 weeks ago against Craig, there was 0.1 of a second between us on all of the stages, so like it doesn't really get much closer than that.
No. Like Joe, you're like Donegal, like you're the seasoned competitor here. You have a wee bit more experience than the rest of them, and like you've only done it 3 times, but this is new territory for you as well on the Friday.
I think we were looking earlier on there. There's only maybe 2 stages the same, or 2 stages that you've done exactly the same. Everything else is different, so it's fresh for everybody, and it's on Friday especially. It's a really level playing field for everybody, and I think that's a good thing. Last year it was south and it was new for everybody, and this time now it's going up north, and it's as Ryan said, it's 2011 since it was done, so it's nice to get somewhere different to rally.
Yeah, because I think it was at the launch, Dave Moynihan said, Donegal is one of the few events that can rest stages for, 12 or 13 years and go into classic stages. Like, I think Mulholland is probably comparable to any stage in the country.
It definitely is. I've never even been spectator. It's not even a part of the country I would be very often. It's an hour and a half away from me here, so it's by all accounts, it's the grip and everything up there is meant to be very, very good, and even them second 2 stages, from what I hear, is they're meant to be really, really good. Like, so, just can't wait to get at them now.
Yeah, and like, see, even this is probably a stupid question to ask, but see, when you're out doing your recce, do you be looking at the tower to see the grip on it and one thing or another? Do you get a feel even in the road car?
You mightn't get much of a feel for it, I suppose, but because you're not doing any sort of speed, but you'll definitely be looking at the surface to see what kind, is it abrasive or is it shiny, especially if it's a wet recce or something. You'll be fit to pick out shiny spots easier and things like that, but you go to the likes of Clark there, and it's always so abrasive down there, whereas up here at times you can have the odd shiny spot to catch you out, so it's just something you have to bear in mind in the recce.
Mm-hmm. And Ryan, like that, that's something I'd never even thought about, in the recce, that you're looking for all these kind of things as well. It's not just marking the corners, it's, trying to assess, because maybe it's coastal, will that dry off quicker if it is kind of a wet, dry day?
Yeah, for sure. Definitely the ring in West Cork's an example. Everywhere else was wet in the recce and stopped raining for about 20 minutes and it was bone dry. So yeah, I'd say that's gonna be into play, like, but I don't know what the weather's given, but yeah, you can control a lot of things, not the weather. So we'll see what happens. In terms of looking, yeah, you'd be looking for surface changes more than where the grip is on the road. If you have to go looking for it, braking and stuff. But yeah, look, it's definitely going to be a challenging day up there. The first day in Donegal usually gets a lot of people, so let's just try and get through it this year and get to Saturday.
Mm-hmm. And have you looked at the DVD? Have you been over those first 3 stages? Like, they're long stages. They're demanding stages.
Yeah, Mulholland is very demanding. Yeah, then going to the second one, it's very fast at the start with a lot of chicanes in it, and yeah, it gets tight then and twisty and gets very fast again then. But yeah, the third stage is good too. They're all kind of fast and flowing in places, and then they're tight in other places. But yeah, look, there's plenty of work in them. There's nearly as much work in them as there is in Knockalla and stuff. So, but no, looking forward to it. And as the boys are saying, like, it's a level playing field on Friday, so no one has any really knowledge of them. But yeah, looking forward to it now.
Yeah, and Ioan, from your point of view, these are because it's going back to 2011 or whatever. There's not really any in cars or anything that you can study up. It has to be putting full commitment into your recce, getting a really good set of notes.
Yeah, I suppose so. It's probably the same anywhere we go. Like the boys are mentioning earlier, it's always so close. So I think whatever rally, whatever country we're at, you have to put 100% into the notes and have to be quite focused. And it's quite interesting what the boys were saying earlier about the surface changes. That's probably why I went off last year in Donegal. It had been so dry for so long, and I think it had brought all the stuff to the top of the tar, rained, and then it's just like driving on sheet ice. And it's just an experience. So obviously after that, every rally, you tend to look for the shiny spots or where it will be shiny even when it's dry. So yeah, it's a big part to play, but yeah, of course, I think it's going to be no different to any other rally. You have to put 100% when you're in this class. So yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, Kyle, he's not going to bother with tar bubbling up to the surface this year. Like we're having cold, wet weather here at the moment, so and that brings its own challenges. That if it stays wet, there'll be a lot of water in the ditches and one thing and another, and then if there's cuts, it makes it more difficult for you guys running further back in the field.
Yeah, it makes it much trickier, but yeah, as Ryan says, you can't control the weather, so it's the same for everyone. And if you look at it in that perspective, there's nothing you can do in that terms. But I think making the right tire call and yeah, just knowing what tire to go on and what the surface is. So that's kind of crucial if the weather comes into play.
Actually, I spoke to you before, and you were saying this year you're on to Michelin's, change your tire brand for you. Are you feeling more confident now that you're able to make that choice when needed?
Yeah, exactly. It just takes time to kind of develop experience and a tire and what the compounds can do and what they can't do. So it just definitely takes time, but you're still learning every day you go out. You learn something new, and yeah, over in the Jim Clark, we're cutting them as well. So that was quite interesting. So yeah, it's every single day you go out, you're learning more. But yeah, it's good to have good bit of knowledge with the tire now. So I've a couple of events done. So yeah, looking good.
And Keelan, this, for us, spectators, we just think, a tire is a tire, but it's not. It's so much more crucial that, if you're on the right tire, a stage can just click. If you're in the wrong tire, you could lose 10, 15, 20 seconds easily.
Yeah, picking tires would keep you up at night sometimes. Thinking about it. Yeah, it's really tricky sometimes, but I suppose especially in Donegal, where you don't really know what the weather's going to do. It can be dry one day and wet the next, or even during the day it can change. But yeah, you just get used to them, and trusting them is really the main thing. Like, there is grip in them, but trusting them and knowing how far you can push them. It just takes time and a bit of learning.
Yeah, because last year in Sunday in Donegal, we were sitting on Atlantic Drive, and it was like lovely day, t-shirts on, and then you're watching Killian and Andy's coverage from Fanad, and they're having a downpour. So you go out on a set of tires for that loop, and it could be perfect for one stage and completely wrong for the other. And I suppose it's having that confidence to say, right, I know if the wrong tire on, but I have to make the best of this.
Yeah, I think it was Donegal last year. We were sitting on the start line, one of the stages, and we had like a dry compound on, and it just started lashing rain just as we were about to start the stage, and there was nothing we could do about it. So you have to kind of adjust how you're going to approach the stage. But yeah, like I said, you just get through it. You have to get through it. It's the same for everyone.
And Joe, I suppose not that you put it out of your head that it's raining, but you just have to have faith that you have to cope with what's there.
Exactly. You haven't much choice. You can either go back to service or drive on. So, yeah, it's all about putting a wee bit of faith. As Keelan was saying, I remember last year we were sitting on the started lane, and he says it was bone dry. And whenever we just got out of the last chicane into the village, it was like it was a fucking inch of water in it nearly. And all I was thinking is, is Shug even going to make it up the hill? Like, just with the amount of water, the big downpour that came, it was mental. Like, so yeah, but I suppose that's Donegal feel like.
Yeah, I think that not even that the whole stage was wet. It was just section of the stage that was wet.
It was lovely up to that. It was the whole way into the lane was lovely, but just whenever we got to the village, the heavens opened, and I was tiptoed up through the top of the hill and everything. It was horrible. And then we went to Fanad, I think, and it was bone dry again. Like, so you never know what it's going to do, but it's just about, I suppose, a compromise too at times with tires. Just times you're never going to have the right tire for everything, but you might have the right tire for the most of it. So it's just about getting that right.
And I suppose the same thing, that all the other guys around you too have had, they might be on the wet tire and that's it, that section, but then the tire will be getting chewed up with it on the dry bits too. So everybody's in the same boat to a certain extent.
Exactly, yeah. Everybody could get caught out at once, but hopefully we won't have that problem at all.
No, it'll be blue skies the whole way. And Ryan, it has been a fantastic year so far. The move up to the Tarmac Championship now in the Rally 4 car, and you have a good lead. do you go into Donegal with the mindset of protecting the championship lead, or it's Donegal, we'll worry about the championship on Sunday evening if we're still there?
No, look, I don't think it's going to make a difference. Start worrying about the championship, you could end up 7th or 8th in the class. So I don't be worrying about that from the word go anyway. But no, look, we'll just take it one stage and one day at a time, I suppose, and seeing where we're at. But yeah, hopefully we'll not be too far away. That's the plan. But when you look at the entry list, you could be far enough away.
Like Ioan, it is probably the best Rally 4 entry this year so far, and like one bad stage, or even not even a bad stage, like just a middling stage, you could go from first or second to suddenly you're 8th or 9th.
Yeah, not even a bad stage. Sometimes I feel like I had a good stage and I'm dropped back 5 places and I got up in there. But yeah, no, it's a testament to how close it is. And yeah, no, I don't think Ryan has any worries about being too far away. I think we'll all be trying to catch him. So, but no, we'll see. I think it's a long 3 days. Of course it's a big race, but it's no good having a big lead like we did at the end of Friday last year. It meant nothing when we were at the bar for Saturday and Sunday. So yeah, I think it's a big thing to get to the end of it as well.
Mm-hmm. I like Keelan. Do you have to yes, you want to be fast, you want to be up there at the front, but at the same time, you have to remember it's 3 days of rally, and is there a certain bit of pacing yourself, or is it, let's go for it here kind of thing?
It's kind of a mix, I suppose. You can't be too slow either, or you will be left behind. Like, it's as simple as that, really. But yeah, you don't want to make a mistake either on Friday and ruin your weekend. And I think the stages that there is on Friday, it's very possible you could if you weren't focused on what you're doing. But yeah, you don't want to be too slow either.
Is it nearly easier to drive at 10 tenths than it is to drive sort of with a wee bit more caution?
Sometimes, but it's pretty fast now. Sometimes it's not that comfortable. But I know what you mean. Yeah, being flat out is often just a bit easier because everyone is at it as well. So
yeah. Mm-hmm. And Keelan, there is that kind of fine line between being on the limit and being over the limit, I suppose.
Yeah, it's kind of finding the balance. If you're into a good rhythm and you feel comfortable, and then you kind of have to see where you're at and the times, and if you have to push that extra bit or come back a little bit. But usually you never have to come back. You're always looking for more. So it's always good because you're always learning that way. So it's only the best way to learn, and I think it pushes everybody on and everybody learns together, because you come out of a stage and you're thinking you had a good run and somebody could take 5 seconds out of you. You're like, where's the 5? But then when you get to rerun the stage, you'll find the 5 because you've no choice to find it. So no, that's good. Hey, it's good. That's what you want, because at the end of the day, hey, everyone's racing each other, and sure, everybody's developing as drivers, So no, it's good. It's good to have a good battle. It keeps the thing interesting and keeps everybody on their toes as well, and obviously for spectators watching and people seeing the times and everything, it plays a huge part for everything,
Yeah, I think Joe, as Kel was saying there, coming off the stage and scratching your head, where did that time come? That you have to dig deep and try and find where it was, and push yourself that wee bit harder the next time through.
Exactly, Kevin. As Kel says, you could, it could be 5 seconds, or it could be nearly 2 or 3 boys. If you're 5 seconds down, you could be in 3rd or 4th place on a stage or something. We were in Munster there, and there was one of the stages, the middle stage. I think there was 4 seconds separating 5 boys on the one stage or something. So it's mental, it's completely mad, But that's what you want, and with the entry list is here in Donegal now, it's a top class entry in Rally 4 cars. You wouldn't get it anywhere else in Europe, I would say. So yeah, with everybody, if it's all going to be that tight, it's going to be somebody racing with.
Yeah, because that, and come the Friday morning, is there nerves? Is there is it just mad to get at it, or what kind of way would you be on the morning of the rally?
I would have a bit of nerves, all right, yeah, but you're kind of you're building up to it now for to do the recce this weekend and stuff like that, and you're building up to it all the next week. Like, so you have a bit of nerves, but you do be glad to get stuck into it then and get at it.
Yeah. I suppose, Ioan, like by the time Friday morning comes, as Joe says, like between the recce and ceremonial start and the driver's briefing and all, it's nearly a relief to get into the car.
Yeah, that's true. The whole build-up of it probably is worse than actually when you get into the rally. You probably tend to focus a bit more, and you forget about the big hype, and it's just get to the start and try your best. That's all you can do, I suppose.
Yeah, because it's quite a long drive from from Letterkenny out to the first stage, and what way do you do that? Like, do you have to prep yourself up? To give yourself a good talking to, or what way does that work?
Try not to fall asleep on the way, and then try and wake up when he says 5, and then maybe do a bit of driving.
So right, it's quite simple then. Just don't fall asleep on the way out to the first stage.
You'll be all right then.
But Ryan, same question to yourself. What's your preparation? On the morning of the event.
Look, to be honest, you'd be glad to get away from everything and just get into the car, to be honest. I don't mind the drive out, to be honest. Get you back into the car and get you into the swing of it, get into service and get away out to the stages. At least there's no one talking to you, you're on your own. Only Declan. So it's grand, and the crack piece is good as well. So that's important too.
Yeah. Keelan, you can see the way you boys interact with each other. Like, it must be serious crack, at the start of the first stage waiting, there must be serious banter and a serious bit of winding up being done.
It's really good, yeah. Especially when you do a stage and there's 5 seconds between 5 of us, and you're saying someone at the moment here and another person at the moment there. It's really good between the stages, getting out and chatting, and we're all good friends now, like.
Yeah.
We're still pretty competitive, I think.
Yeah, I think as much as the fun and the banter's there, it's it's still trying to find that extra second.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely.
And Kyle, from your own point of view, if you've lost 5 seconds, are you trying to figure out from the boys where they got it, or if you're 5 seconds up on them, are you trying to hide where you got it?
Well, so you always seem to be looking for where the 5 seconds is. So. But no, it's good. Hey, that's what you want, and it's good to have plenty of boys around. You better crack, and every man gets on well. So it's kind of makes it a good bit more enjoyable as well.
Mm-hmm. I can think, as much as the sport is very serious, and it's very competitive, and all, it's nice to have the wee bit of fun and the bit of crack as well.
Aye, that's it. Keep the thing right too, and it's good to have a bit of crack and get away from it for a wee second and get chatting. So, but then when the helmet goes on, then the race is back on again. So it's a different story. But hey, that's just the class, and it's good to be in a competitive class, and the racing's just simply incredible. No doubt about it. So it's good.
Yeah, I can think, Ryan, you couldn't be that. You couldn't be in full stage mode for the whole day. Like, it just wouldn't be physically possible. So to have that wee bit of downtime between the stages, you probably need that as much as anything else too.
You do, yeah. As Keelan was saying there, you're always chatting about someone having a moment somewhere, because there's definitely been moments this year, but just keep the shoe on her and try and get out of them. But let's hope everyone gets through the weekend as well, and suppose it be enjoyable. But when the helmet goes on, the race face comes on, then comes off again. So look, it's good. Like, that's what you want. A good battle coming into Sunday with Atlantic Drive, and then good stages on Sunday. So looking forward to it. Hopefully,
because Sunday is it's a whole national rally again, isn't it? Like, it's nearly 100 kilometres again on Sunday. Like, and you have Garton, you have Atlantic Drive, you have Fanad. Like, any one of those stages would be brilliant to drive. To drive the 3 of them twice. Like, that must be, it's not going to be an easy run, and that's what I'm probably trying to say on Sunday.
No, definitely not. But we done Garton before, but it's slightly different. And Atlantic Drive's the same as when I done it. But look, I've wrecked Fanna before, so look, there's as you said, there's a full national rally there. So, but there's plenty of time in them stages, but you just have to put your neck out to get it. And I'm sure there's plenty of boys here that's going to put their neck out to get it.
Joe, like, this is the thing, you know, you can't back off. It has to be, you know, you have to be on it right from the very first stage to the end of stage 20.
That's it. I generally be good at not maybe coming at it till maybe stage 15 at times, but I've kind of got that out of myself a wee bit now. But no, it's mental. Like, you have to be on it from the word go. Like, there's no, like, if you're slacking at all in stage 1, you may forget about it for a wee while, and it'll take you a lot of work to climb back up. Like, so yeah, you just have to be out of the blocks. You have to be up early and out of the blocks. And, you know, some of these other boys are all going to do the same, so you have no choice.
Yeah. And then I suppose we'll start now wrapping up. The final question then, Joe. Favourite stage in Donegal? What's the one that stands out for you?
Probably Glen, I would say. I've never done it down in the hill like we're doing it this year, but I've always enjoyed Glen. It's really fast and flowing and everything. And it's a really nice stage.
Yeah. Kyle, the same question to yourself?
Be honest, probably Knockalla. Never done it, but just watching and spectating on it and watching people think so much, you know, it just looks class. So I'll be looking forward to getting a rattle at that.
And Ioan, yourself then, what's your thoughts on that?
Probably agree with Kyle, to be fair. Knockalla looks class. It's so iconic. Haven't done it actually yet, only the recce, so looking forward to it.
Yeah. Keelan, yourself?
Probably Atlantic Drive for me, especially the bit up along the coast where it's, you know, kind of narrow and twisty. Yeah, the first stage even looks pretty good, so hopefully it will be.
Excellent. And Ryan, final question then to yourself?
Yeah, I'd go with Glen. I would say I never done it the way it's going, but yeah, look, it's one of the famous stages in Donegal. It's I'd say it's even going to be faster this year than last year. You're going all downhill, so
hold on tight.
Pull the straps an extra bit tighter.
I'm really looking forward to that Rally 4 battle. That's going to be epic. If this year's been having to go by, because every rally they've been out at so far, it has been fractions of a second, and no doubt Donegal will continue along that vein. And then, talking of close battles, we also spoke to the Historics corner. Again, what can we say? You know, good fun, very serious, but great crack with them guys as well too. You know, the likes of Tommy O'Connell, who's not registered for the championship, just to see how he gets on there. You know, a bit of an interloper, but has won Donegal in the past too. So exciting times there as well.
Absolutely, and look, just because it's a Historics, they don't take it any less seriously. Like they you know, this is competition, and they will be on it from the get-go Saturday morning, and it's going to be fast and it's going to be quick, and they will be watching each other to see what times are going in and to see where they can pick and gain times over the stages. Yeah, and not only will they be watching their own times, they're going to see how close they can get to the class 13 and class 14 guys as well too. So we've spoke long and a lot about historic rallying in the podcast. We both of us have a great affiliation with it. We really enjoy watching and hearing from the guys there as well. And I think now we'll cut across and we'll hear from Declan Casey, Michael McDaid, Paul Mulholland, Tommy O'Connell, and Jonni McDaid. So Donegal's only a few days away now, and one of the most competitive sections in the rally, and in fact in the whole championship, has been the Historics. Declan, you've been one of the driving forces behind the Historic Championships revival over the last couple of years. You have to be happy seeing that entry list.
Oh, fantastic, Kevin. I think at the height of it, there was 33 entries for Donegal. I think there's 2 maybe after withdrawing since, but still 31 is a fantastic number heading up for the hills.
Yeah, and it's not just a quantity; the quality is there as well too. It's a strong entry list.
There is a ferocious top 10 or 15, and there's a couple of new names on it as well. Dark horses that we'll have to keep an eye on. But yeah, absolutely fantastic entry for Donegal.
Yeah, and like Michael, you're going back as defending champion. Does that bring a different type of pressure, or do you just treat it like any other rally?
Yeah, I suppose, yeah. If it had H1 on it, I really felt pressure, but now I'm 301, it feels different. Like, no, there's a big lineup. Like, as Declan said, you've dark horses. I like Tommy O'Connell there, who comes out of the woodwork every so often. But you've Vivian Hamill, and there's Tommy Davies, and there's 4 or 5 names there that you're like, oh, them guys will go hard. Like, yeah, Marion Evans, yeah, Marion will be pushing hard. Like. Oh, yeah, he was going well. Declan jumped to a different camp and went and sat with him there, and was it Cork? Or
he jumps up, but he's the trader. So
yeah. He's the local slut.
He was just gathering information.
But yeah,
he's sussing everybody out, so he is. Yeah. He was on to me there, but the parents, I says, no, I wouldn't do that. Don't you make up?
But there's a lot of good drivers out there.
There is.
It's an event you've very fond memories of as well. You've took victory in the Historics and in previous years too. An event you look forward to every year.
Oh, that's right. I absolutely love Donegal, and hey, I've been down there for years. Dad was doing it whenever I was just born and things like that, and we always loved Donegal. And obviously, it's been good to me and bad to me. There's many days I was standing down there around Knockalla or Port Saline, and the engine blew up and this and that. But 2022 was good. We won it, which was some achievement for me. I thought that was brilliant. That was icing on the cake for the whole rallying career. You know what I mean? And I can only get out now a couple of times a year now, just other things, family life taking over as well, and just getting out, just to keep my hand on it, and I try not to miss Donegal. Like it's the best place, so it is, other than home. So it is.
And you've seen the development over with the Historics over the last few years. The pace is getting hotter and hotter every year.
Oh, it is surely. There's not one boy going slow. So there's not, everybody is trying their best and going hard, and our times will be up there with the modified boys as well, even though they wouldn't like to hear that, but that's the truth. It is and everybody's going hard from the first Historic to the last. So there, you can see it all in the results and videos and everything. Everybody is going well.
Mm-hmm.
So there.
And Paul, yourself and Trevor come so close last year. It looked as if it was going to be the dream result, but unfortunately, it went wrong in the last stage. But, it has to give you good confidence that the pace is there.
Okay, last year was, suppose, my first time Donegal, and one experience I got. The finishing the podium up there, it was fantastic. Michael and Declan had a fantastic event. And then Duncan's car boiling on the start line of Fanad for the last time and thinking, where's this all going to go? And then him coming back in and punching in the fastest time. So, it was nip and top the whole weekend. Great crack. And super stages for Historics up there.
Yeah. And Jonni, you have been producing some giant Keelan performances in the Samba. Is it Donegal an event you look forward to, and does it suit the Samba some of the stages?
Yeah, Donegal, going back from 5-6 years of age, getting Friday off every weekend for follow the rally from school. And then this is our third year now to do it, lucky enough. So sort of a dream come true. Knockalla, I'd say they're our favourite stage. Once you get to the top of the hill, that first lay-by, start of the hill, that kills the wee car, but after that it's all guns blazing, then you're trying to make up for what you've lost at the start of the stage. So just keep it pumped as much as you can, just.
Yeah. And for yourself, if you've been following it, since you've been a child, is it a dream come true to be sitting at the likes of Knockalla or Fanad, sitting in the start line thinking, this, only a few years ago I was here, standing in the ditches watching this.
That's the real deal, just. You have to keep punching yourself, just. Like Atlantic Drive, Glen, Fanad, we got past the post office, we did 2 years ago. We will say stuff you stood on the side of the ditches watching from you're a wee nipper, just to a dream come true. You're actually loving the dream, just. So yeah, it's unreal, just. It's what the sport's about, just.
Yeah, for sure. And Declan, this year, Donegal Motor Club, there's always the Historics always kind of run at the tail end of the field Saturday, Sunday. This year, a wee bit different. You're still doing the Saturday and Sunday stages, but rather than starting at the tail end of the field, you're going to get seated throughout the field then for the event. Is that a welcome change by the Motor Club?
Yeah, there's kind of mixed reviews. I suppose there's a group of Historics that like to stay together and stay at the back, but the disadvantage of doing that is you lose a lot of stages, and it's not any fault of the club. It's just if there's an accident and the services go in, the stage is gone, and it happens a lot in Donegal because the speeds are so high. But this year now they're serious into the main field. We're not too sure exactly where we'll end up, but hopefully we'll get a few extra stages than we did last year and the year before. And as Tommy said earlier, there we'll be mixed in with the modifieds now rather than chasing their tails.
and we'll have to put in the times to keep our spot. And when we get up Sunday morning, we'll be seated according to time as opposed to seated any other ways. So it's only then we'll really see where we truly fit into the main field, you know.
But like Michael, as Tommy said earlier, like the pace is there. Like there's no doubt that the times is comparable with the top guys in class 13 and nothing at the heels of some of the class 14 guys. Like for a historic car, that's like kind of bonkers.
Yeah, well, you're driving, as I often say, you're driving them as hard as you go, as safe as you can go, you know. I suppose all of us, just like Tommy said, we've all got families and we're trying to make sure that we're doing safe rallying. But yeah, you're driving as hard as you can and pushing on. I suppose the only difference is that the modifieds have is it a second a mile, I reckon, the shift gear, or the shift does?
Oh, the flat shift, yeah.
The flat shift, then I suppose that a lot of boys are just a bit braver in certain parts. Maybe breaking that bit later, and maybe taking a wee chance they shouldn't be taking, but that's you get away at some of them. You know,
I like Tommy, like the fact that you're doing the Saturday and the Sunday, you know, you're missing out on like the Mulholland, you know, when it's showing stages this year. But there's still a lot of classic stages there. You know, you start out Saturday morning, first thing Saturday morning, head up in Donegal. That's some way to waking up on a Saturday morning.
Oh, that'll waken you up. That's daunting enough now, so it has. Never mind the first one, so it is. But I don't mind missing the Friday, to be honest. Like Donegal, it is a 3-day rally, but like the best of the stages seems to be the Saturday and Sunday. So they do, but I never ever done Mulholland ever. Anytime that ran the rally, I never done it or whatever. So I don't know. I'm not missing nothing anyway up there, if you know what I mean. But
yes,
no, it'll be good to get into them classics on Saturday and Sunday. So it will.
And the fact that this year there is a few wee tweaks, you know, like the likes of Nogala, there's, you know, a different finish, Gary Gort run the different direction and all that there. It kind of takes away, you know, familiarity, and I suppose that probably helps you, you know, you have to do a more thorough recce, you know, you have to be listening, you have to be fully tuned into your notes. You know, is that a better mindset than going and, you know, just doing the same stages all the time?
Well, it is good to change it up a bit, like, don't get me wrong, so it is, and as you say, you have to concentrate a bit more and things like that, and you're wrecking and get things right, which that's the most important thing anyway, you know. And for years I didn't really do that, but then this past maybe 3 or 4 years, maybe 2 or 3 years, I started to put more effort into my wrecking and all, because I was always out for a bit of crack and enjoyment, but you want to do your best, and you know, you want to stand up and do as best you can too, so you have to put the effort in too. So you do.
I think, Paul, like every crew right now from car 1 to, you know, like with the way the numbering system is now, taking 400 and whatever, like everybody's putting in that extra effort. Everybody's, you know, trying to find that way advantage, and it's getting more and more difficult to find that edge.
Yeah, everybody's putting in, you know, a massive amount of effort. You know what? It's competition at the end of the day, so you want to do as best that you can. And you know, it's about the enjoyment of the sport as well. And I suppose, you know, your recce is very important if you get there, even all the prep work before the event, you know, going through the DVD, marking up your notes, seeing what you have from your notes from last year. And I suppose that's going to be a change, because a lot of it, you know, was technically reversed this year, with some bits the same. But it's everybody out there is trying to put as much prep work in, whether it be to your notes, your pre-event, on the event, and getting your cars ready beforehand. There's a lot of work goes into it all.
I think, Jonni, that's what a lot of people never see, is all the work that goes in even before you arrive in Letterkenny or Clonakilty or whatever. There's an awful lot of work goes on behind the scenes.
Yeah, like that. You arrive on the Wednesday, start your notes Wednesday, Thursday before the rally starts on Friday. As you say, it's the unforeseen bits that people never, the spectators arrive Saturday, Sunday to watch the rally, don't take that into consideration. A lot of effort and work.
Yeah, and like, you know, you do a lot of work in your own car as well too, and like, you know, before the event starts, like there's an awful lot of prep. You know, is it kind of more or less a rebuild from front to back before the likes of Donegal?
More or less, yeah. You like her to be in top shape before you started, so you have to give her a full spanner check from top to toe, just.
Yeah, and like Paul, yourself and Trevor, you know, changing machinery this year, and like it's probably fair to say it hasn't been smooth sailing, but you know, every rally the pace seems to be getting that wee bit closer and closer. Do you feel that you are almost there now?
Yeah, definitely coming out of Cardo. I'd say our last loop was as good 2 stages that we had in the car from a hatter. it's very, very different compared to the Escort or the Porsche. I suppose everybody's saying, "Oh, left-hand drive is a big thing," and it is, but we're trying not to think about that. Trevor's putting a lot of work in there. He's a Raki car. He's driving left-hand drive, and he feels comfortable with it. I tell you, as Tommy said earlier there, about he felt comfortable in left-hand drive. He says he feels normal in it as well, so that's a good thing. I suppose setup wise, the M3 is a bit different, and we're finding, trying to get a suspension and getting the settings for here a wee bit different. And then we've a few issues with her. From she came, the alternator give baller, power steering. There's been an oil pressure switch on her, give a bit of baller and Kiara. We've got the bottom of that now, so it's ironing it all them wee things event by event, but hopefully we've got them all sorted for the big one.
Yeah, that's for sure. And Michael, from your point of view too, it's you're going over and doing events in the UK, and yes, you want a reliable car and all, but this is 2 tough days on tarmac, which tends to be sore on cars as well. There has to be the car has to be 110% right nearly starting out on the Saturday morning.
Oh, totally. But with these historic cars, and I don't know, maybe the modifieds are similar, but we went to an event there, and the alternator was only after being replaced, and we had 2 stages done and packed in. And the next thing battery and the light was coming on, and you're there going, "Oh, geez, are we going to get to the end of this stage?" And we couldn't even stop the car, and then she started heating up, because it was a hot day, and you're there thinking, right, to stop her or to have to push her, and then the whole thing becomes a nightmare, and then you're all disorientated, or not, you're a bit agitated because you're off form because you're worrying about the car, and then you're looking at the dash instead of looking at the road. And yeah, it's tough, as you said, it's tough on a car, and sure, you have to put in new diffs and you have to check the clutches, but hey, with these cars, something just randomly goes wrong, and you could replace everything and it still go wrong in 2 stages,
Yeah, Tommy, I suppose, Tommy, there is no thing as the ideal perfect car. There's always going to be the weak link somewhere, and it could be something that's already been replaced. It's just been faulty. That something that you bought new can be faulty just as easy as something that's been on the car for 2 years.
Oh, that's right. Hey, a brand new part will break too. Sure, it's made for competition. It's made for whatever, so it will break at some point. You know what I mean? And it is unfortunate these things happen. When they're quite new, because we all get our cars prepped right and well, but as Michael says, just break, and you'll be standing there thinking to yourself, "That shouldn't have broke," or you know what I mean? But hey, that's just the way it is. So competition racing, so something's going to have to give at some point. But you do have to have your car perfect or near enough anyway. So you do, but it's all luck at the end of the day too. You know what I mean? So it is.
Yes, and Tommy, you've competed in class 13, class 14, and now that the last where you started out was historics, and you've went back to the historics. Is that where your heart lies? Is there something special about a BDG Escort?
There is. I did start out in the BDA or BDG, and then went to the class 13, and I only dipped my hand in class 14 once or twice, but it just wasn't for me. I just knew I couldn't drive them to the limit, if you know what I mean. I just knew I couldn't. But the class 13 car we did, and we were on it, and I think we were second, second class 13 Donegal 1 year, and then third. Could never get the one in Donegal and the modified car, but you're driving the door handles, them things, and it is enjoyable enough, but it's well serious, so it is. And whatever it is about the BDAs, you're driving the absolute door handles, them things, and it's enjoyable. It's really enjoyable racing, and it's good crack, and we all take it serious, don't get me wrong, but it's just seems to be more relaxed, if you know what I mean. So it isn't a bit of fun, but no, my heart definitely lies with the historics, and sure, my dad's the same. He was a big BDA man, and he done everything as well, but it's BDA, it's hard. Well, so it is, but definitely them M3s now are cool. Geez, they are class. Paul and Trevor there, and Marty and all. Love to drive one of them. So, but probably never happen. But
never say never.
That's it. That's all I would need. So it is.
I have an idea. I think that Trevor should do the first stage, I'll do the second, and Tommy do the third in the BM, and we swap cars.
See how we all get on.
Yeah, I'll text him here and see how that goes, Michael.
You mentioned that there, will you?
That's it. Michael will be chatting to Mats now this week. Whenever he knows he's over, he'll be getting one.
Putting the order in.
Have to sell a house for one of them yokes.
Put the order in. You know, but they are cool. Like, they are definitely class. So they're.
Because I think, you know, as much as an escort provokes so many memories, there's a certain generation, you know, we think of Bertie Fisher, we think of Austin McHale, you know, the memories come streaming back there too, like, you know, Patrick Snyers, even Billy Coleman, like, never thought much of the BM because he was developing it at the very start, but they have created, Paul, you've probably seen this as well, they're creating a lot of new memories for a different generation.
Yeah, the attention it gets it's good, like, and you know, everybody's out watching it and coming up to you say the noisiest thing, it sounds great, and it's fantastic. It's a fantastic car to sit in, noisy car to sit in, you know. People think, you know, with intercoms and all that at the minute, you know, but it's still a noisy car to sit in, and it must be good because Declan's looking around on one as well, so he's been trying to get in for a spin in it too, so.
There he is, Michael's trying to get on with someone else.
There's the loyalty for you.
That's it.
So, Jonni, you know, you've heard all this chat like with these escorts and the BMs and all, but like your Samba, like you just love that car. It does exactly what you want it to do.
I'm completely out of my depth. These boys, there's pounds flying over here. No, it's a good big car. It's reliable and it hasn't the power to harm itself. You have to wring the neck of it to get it to go. So to me, that's what motorsport's about: man and machine against the clock. Just both things extract the most out of each other. As you say, it's enjoyable to drive, right?
Like, you know, you've come up through, you know, you've had your 106s and all that, and like, you know, you've wanted the kind of the modern route, but now you're back in the historics. Like, you hear the banter, you hear the crack. Is that part of the appeal of the historics too? Is the fun of it all as well?
Yeah, say as I did sport for about 15, 16 years there, and we got the wee car fully restored, and went down the historic route, and just as the camaraderie of the boys and was the banter and the slagging and the good atmosphere, it makes you feel welcome just, and you go out for a bit of fun just, and everybody's just like a big family.
Because Declan, you know, you've often promoted, you know, the way everybody pulls together, no man left behind on the stages, you know, as much as possible. Yes, when the clock's ticking, very serious, but whenever the helmets is off, the fun starts.
Yeah, I remember last year, I think Paul referred to it there a while ago when Duncan was boiling at the start of Fennet. If we go back half an hour before that, there was a shower of rain and he decided to change the tyres. And there was about 20 of us watching, but he was there changing the tyres on his own. We wouldn't give him any help. And then the stage was delayed and then it dried up again and he was going to change them back. I'm not sure, Paul, did he change them back again after that? But with some crack, and Martin McCormack was there and Barney, and the crack was mighty, hiding the nut gun and all this kind of cracking. We were missing stages, but we were having fierce crack while they were cancelled. Like.
The stages only getting the root of the crack. And like, talking to the stages, I suppose we'll start wrapping things up. Like, Declan, what is the standout stage for you whenever you come to Donegal? What's the one that you look forward to the most?
I think it's Knockella. Knockella, there's just something about Knockella. There's a calmness in the middle of it that's undescribable when you're at full tilt. It's just the whole flow of the stage. You know, there's no slow corner in Knockella, like, really. It's like a Grand Prix, like. You just when the two of us are in the one wavelength and everything is going good. And hopefully it stays that way this year.
And you're in the right yard. You're right. Which car are you getting into this year?
I might be in the BM.
You've been the bit of the BM.
Just make sure you go to the right door.
That's right, yeah.
You might want on the other door, but that would be the problem. Michael, same question to you. What's your standout stage for Donegal?
It totally is not Gallagher. It's just, as it's an iconic stage, but it's mind blowing. Like, it's, as Declan said, it's like a Grand Prix stage. But even it's ballsy. Like, if you know what I mean, there's corners on it. You have to keep. You can't believe the car gripping as much as she does, you know. And I like it too. One of my favourite.
Jonni, same question to you.
Yeah, same as the rest of them. There's all about Knockalla right from the start there at the toilets, right? right to the very end. It's the flow of nature of it. Just about everything, attacking, jumps, committed corners. Just once you have a good record on it, there's a lot of time being up on it. That's lovely stage, definitely. It's one of them stages when you get there, a start line, just you want to go back around here and go again, just like a fun fair.
And Paul, from the co-driver's seat, what's the stage that jumps out to you?
Definitely not Gala. Yeah, if that clicks and notes are good and everyone's flowing good, it feels really, really good. And as Michael says there, it's amazing that the amount of grip that you have in places. How tires can hold on at that speed.
Yeah. And Tommy, are we going for a full house or?
Oh, it has to be the full house. It has to be. So it is. They're nothing like it. You're at the start line in Knockall and you look up to the top of that hill and say to yourself, geez, we have to go down the other side of that as hard as we can go. And then all you see is the ocean and your heart's in your mouth, like so it is. And you just have to keep going on with it. And it really is the best stage ever. So it is. As everybody says, there's just something about it. It's just amazing. So it is. And the thrill in that car down through it is definitely unreal. So it is. So we'll be all looking forward to Saturday morning, bright and early.
So thanks very much to those historic guys. That's good fun there now as well too. So that is part one of the Donegal Rally Special, Connor, and the other one coming real soon. So please like, share, subscribe, all those things we always said to make a difference. So if you can do that, then it would be gratefully appreciated. So until the next time, take care, speak soon, and bye.